Okay, so this is for all three of you. So now that your name is out there and you're an older actor, do you find it hard competing with I don't mean this in any disrespect, and it kind of goes together, but you're a known name. Do you find it hard competing with the younger crowd now coming in? Because, you know, there's only a certain period, they say, you know, for actors and things to really make their career. And Jackson, do you find it being harder going into the business, trying to get roles with some of the known actors that's up for the roles? And Kimbra, do you find it harder competing with the younger models coming in? Now, not saying that you're getting older, you're still beautiful, but there's so many people competing now, but you have a bigger name, but is it harder finding easier for the younger models to come in or to fight against the name? Does all that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Can I take that first? I want to get this
out
of the way. My feelings are destroyed. No.
Sorry.
So, you know, that's great because you guys are asking really good questions. Really. I felt too old when I started. I was heartbroken starting. I felt, I'm too fucking old. I'm not, I'm not James Dean. I'm not Marlon Brando. I was so devastated from day one. And now to add injury,
Insult to injuries.
That is an injury. So I've been working all these years in all these parts. No, I've been doing all these things where I have sort of minor parts, bigger parts, and I had to realize, I'm always so aware of how time is passing and my role in life, and I've just come to just appreciate whatever it is I do and to do it with simplicity and truth, and I'm good with my age and my flaws, but it took a while. There was always so much fucking anger and it just, now I'm just okay with it all. You know what I mean? But I did have so many, you don't even know the stories. Oh my God, the things I didn't get.
Just gave him bad flashes. It's just,
I got this
so much anger.
It wasn't the age I was focusing on. It was that name that you created for your name.
But you're right. And then, exactly. But I think just being okay with all my tribulations and my age and other actors, I just feel I'm good now. I actually have a certain kind of power within myself, and I don't care about that stuff. So I get what I get, and it's really interesting because I know everybody feels that on some level. Even well-known actors, they go through their thing, and so yeah, it's good because we're at such different places. It's good to sort of see that perspective. So that's where I'm at. Just like
you don't get as angry as much.
Yeah. No, I'm like, all right. I just kind of accept life, but it makes me more present in life. So that's where I'm at. Good.
Where to begin? I started modeling so much later than normal girls do. So, do we have to talk about age?
No. Name versus no name.
Yeah. I love challenge, and I've been a body parts model all this time, so I'm hoping that now that I have a little bit of a name, I can do other things and maybe set a good example for those models that start out when they're young and they're insecure and they're unsure about themselves. You know, they can look at what I'm doing, and if I can do this, anybody can, because I've always been very quiet and shy, and I really definitely want to make something happen with this, just to be able to prove to people you can make anything happen. You really can. And again, I started later, and I got teenage gigs even though I wasn't a teenager. And the cover of Twilight, those are supposed to be teenage hands. And I've been I still work for 17 magazine and Cosmo Girl, and I don't think it should matter. Although I did talk to People magazine last month, and they said, when we do a formal interview with you, we're going to need to know your age, and you can't lie to us because we're going to find out. And then when I told her, she said, "You just look so much younger than you are," and that's kind of cool, So you just go with what you got, Just life's too short. Just work with it. So I'm hoping my name keeps getting out there. Thanks.
And then it was me. It's one of those things.
just going to kind of recycle a question real quick. You basically asked if it was harder for me to start off because of people.
Is it harder for you to get roles now against, say you, not any disrespect, say you come in and then you have Jack Nicholson come in that wants to play, say, the same role. Do you find it hard?
Awesome.
I know you would just give it up, but
I would love to lose out to Jack Nicholson. Get a call from my agent. Hey, Jackson, listen, man, sorry you didn't get the role. They gave it to Jack. Nicholson, yeah.
But there's just two different levels there. I mean, I mean, everybody knows his name, but then, you know, a lot of people knows your name, and your name's getting out there a lot more. But if you all were competing for the same roles, do you find it harder to get the roles that you really want with competing with so many different people in this world?
Well, that's the trick. I mean, I think it's, I think we could all agree it's kind of like a regular job. I mean, in a lot of ways, and one of the main ways it is it's experience. It's experience based, and a lot of times people won't hire you because you haven't had any experience, and it's not even about a name. It's about like they can't sell you to their producers. You're not like, and you're a risk. Like, who knows? Like, if you've never worked before, then like you're great in a little room with a tiny camera. Then you get on a set, and you know it's like you got to make these days and you got to make these things happen. And like they don't know if you're green. They're going to be like, what happens if you freeze up on set? That's always their words. For me, I was blessed whenever I got out to LA, and this really wonderful director. I was reading for the lead in this independent film. And I was on my third callback. It was my first audition in LA, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get the first audition I ever had." And it was my third callback, and the director kind of pulled me aside and like asked the casting director to step out. And he was like, "You know, man, I really want to give you this role, but you have nothing. There's no credits. Yeah, I can't. Like, there's nothing I can do for you. It's like I can make like what I want to do is because I didn't have a SAG card, I didn't have anything. I was completely. I was green as I was 18. I moved out to LA just on wing and prayer, and this guy was like just kind of like letting me know that I was doing good work, and I was great, and I was like okay, and I was just kind of like set to jet, you know. I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just go back. And he's like, you know what I can do? I'm gonna give you something if you can get yourself out to Texas. And I was like, I'm from Texas. And he's like, oh, well, that's great. So he told me if I was able to get out to Texas when the film was being shot, then I'd pay for my own, you know, lodging. I'd pay for all this stuff to get myself out to Texas. And he gave me this small role, like one line. It's like, you know, nothing. And but because of that role, I got my SAG card. I got to put something on my resume that said, you know, I was in a movie. And then the next time I went into audition, people were like, "What is this?" And I was able to kind of recycle the story, or you know, or at least have something on my resume. And the next job, I was able to be like, "Okay, well, I did these 2 jobs." And the next job, you know, it's like, "Okay, well, I've done this." And then you build a reel. And once again, like I got an amazing teacher in LA, Jeremiah Comey, and the way we record every single one of our acting exercises. So like we'll be up, and it's like go on at the end of the night with a DVD. You pop in, you can just watch yourself and cringe. But it's nice because those videos my manager actually would use to send out for auditions and stuff like that. And she actually used that kind of stuff, which is I love my manager to death. She's amazing. And but yeah, it's one of those things too. I still lose out roles, you know, to people with bigger name value. It happens all the time. I mean, and it's sometimes too. There's actually I say almost like a mark against having a name. In some situations, like in some indie situations, people are like, I've gone into meetings before where they're like, "Oh, well, you're that guy from Twilight," and then I meet them and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool," because they just have this different perception, you know. Like, they're like, "Okay, well," because it's like you said, people think if you like one way. That's why I've always tried to change my appearance in every kind of job I've done. And it's like, you know, I go in for a meeting and they're like, "Wait, which one were you in Twilight?" Like, "Wait, you're the blonde one?" It's like, "But you're smiling." So it's one of those things, you know, like I try to make myself as versatile as possible, and I've kind of always been really, really aware of that because, like I said, one of my first gigs was Beautiful People that kind of put me out there as a leading man. I don't want to be that. I've never really wanted to be like that kind of actor. I've always wanted to be a character actor, like, and then so for me it was kind of really dangerous going down that road, and I had to really kind of pick my parts and pick my career carefully after that. So it's challenging. It's challenging either way. Like once you